Eric lived for the thrill of it. It wasn't about money, power, or revenge. It was about the suffering, the way people's faces twisted in terror as they begged for their lives, the final gasp before silence consumed them. Over the years, he had perfected his craft, methodically killing 714 people without ever getting caught. To him, each life was just a number, each death an artwork in his twisted gallery. Eric Daniels was known to the world as a quiet, unassuming man, the kind of person no one would suspect of anything sinister. He held down a regular job, kept to himself, and blended into society. No one knew the monster that lived within him. But for Eric, there was always one final performance, his masterpiece. After years of indulging in his morbid hobby, Eric decided that it was time to leave his mark on the world for good. This time, it wouldn't just be a few random people or an isolated victim. No, he wanted to make sure that his name, his legacy, would be remembered in the annals of terror forever. So he devised a plan, a grand finale. He spent weeks crafting bombs, sewing them into a vest, testing them, ensuring that every last detail was flawless. This time there would be no hiding, no subtlety. He would take down as many people as possible in one final explosion of carnage. And then, even after his death, the world would see him for what he truly was, a monster. On a bright, sunny afternoon, Eric walked into a bustling public square full of families, children, and tourists. He smiled to himself as he surveyed the scene, knowing that in just moments, everything would change. He pressed the button on the bomb vest without hesitation. The explosion was massive, a deafening roar that tore through the square, sending bodies and debris flying in all directions. Eric was gone, along with countless others, but this was only the beginning of his final act. That night, as the world reeled from the tragedy, a video appeared on the internet titled simply, "Monster." It quickly spread like wildfire, shared across every platform, reaching millions of people within hours. The video was a compilation of Eric's murders, each one filmed, catalogued, and edited with chilling precision. It showed every grim detail of his 714 killings, the screams, the begging, the merciless executions. The world watched in horror, realizing that the man behind the bombing had been a serial killer all along. The police, desperate to track down the source of the video, traced it to an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town. What they found inside chilled them to the bone. The warehouse was filled with bodies, hundreds of them in various states of decay, some dating back years. Each body was carefully arranged, their faces twisted in the last moments of terror. A note was pinned to the wall, written in Eric's neat handwriting, saying, "The monster is never truly dead." The police counted the bodies, over 700 of them, matching the victims from the video. It was as if Eric had saved every trophy from his twisted career, hidden in plain sight. The smell of death hung thick in the air, a nauseating reminder of the horrors that had been committed. The discovery shocked the nation. Eric Daniels was no longer just a serial killer or a bomber. He was a legend of terror. His final act, the video, had immortalized him as the monster he always knew he was. As the media frenzy around the case grew, some speculated that Eric had not acted alone, that there were others involved, but no one could ever be sure. The only thing that remained certain was that the legacy of Eric Daniels, the monster, would haunt the world for years to come. In the end, he had achieved. It had not been the end. It had only been the beginning.